Hmm. hmm. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Overlook channel. And today we're talking about the FNAF lore. I'm going to go over what I think happened and my aspects of theories of FNAF. There is a lot of ways to interpret the franchise. I don't see it like one way is correct. Everybody could have their own theories of what happened, and that's perfectly fine. It's okay. You guys can accept my theory or no. I don't care. So I figured I would start off with the little visual aspects. So let's insert an image. Just search it from web. Uh, let's see. If I'm recalling it right, the first person to die is the puppet. But I think it started with Baby, then Puppet. So, oh God, Circus Baby. I am an idiot. I knew it. I knew I spelled it right. Wait, I don't think. God damn it. Never mind. I'm just going to say it in front of this. Whatever. So you start off by. I was gonna use visual models, but it appears that nothing wants to work with me, so I guess I'm just gonna have to do this. Close you. No, leave you open. Uh, so you have Elizabeth. She, I think she is the turning point where Henry starts being mad at William. Cause it's FNAF, no, it, it's FNAF sister location comes before FNAF 4. So FNAF 4 is second in the timeline. FNAF sister location happens first because we see Elizabeth's room empty, meaning that she's most likely dead. So William's daughter went to Circus Baby's Pizzeria World, something, let's just call it that, and ends up being alone, which her father didn't want. William Afton did not want, because he programmed the animatronics to collect remnant for reasons I don't really think are explained yet. So after the remnant is collected, it seems like the animatronic has remnant and takes a soul. And I think the sister location suits are mainly meant to collect souls. That is their main purpose. Like, they have a clear locking mechanism that is meant to do that. So after Henry hears of the news, and William Afton is just in despair. After he saw Afton design these, he gets mad at Afton, but doesn't want to abandon Afton. So after that, they started Fredbear's. Because if you think about it, sister location has to come first before FNAF 4. Because it's clear that apparently that the sister location, the place where the animatronics are fixed up, are under the FNAF 4 house. And it's a pretty basic concept to understand that the FNAF sister location comes before. Because then you got Fredbear's Family Diner, which came after sister location. And so they started a whole new restaurant, scrapped the other idea. This time, I think Henry helps with the animatronics so they don't look so metallic and so artificial per se. More like a Chuck E. Cheese animatronic. Less like I don't know how to describe it. Uh, Curvy, metallic animatronic. More texture. That's what I meant to say. Like in the original suit, and I think I could show you guys online. Let's see. And yeah, see, on the original animatronic, you can see a clear handprint. That is what I mean by textures and stuff. So, and the idea works way better than the sister location one. Because if you could tell from sister location, I don't think that it was that popular. At least the humanoid animatronics weren't that popular. Because you can hear from Baby, there's only like 2 or 3 kids in the room at a time. So it probably wasn't so successful because it just felt cold, ominous, metallic. It had no realism to it. Like Freddy, like Funtime Freddy, he does not look as good as like regular Freddy. He just doesn't feel like a mascot. He looks like a freaking Terminator. So after they scrapped the idea of the Funtime animatronics, but there are still children's souls in them. That is why William has them. He kept them because they had children's souls in them. And he wanted to use them in some way. So after that happens, and then we're going to go on to the FNAF 4 house. I already described my theory about it in my FNAF VHS, but I will go over it again. In FNAF VR, you clearly see in in VR there's Nightmare Freddy, not Nightmare Freddy, Funtime Freddy in the FNAF 4 house, and we know from the FNAF sister. No, we see Funtime Freddy in the FNAF Lore house in FNAF VR. So my theory about this, they say in the FNAF books, the Twisted one. I've read it a lot of times. Too much to be said. Uh, they have the little chips that basically hides the true disguise of what these animatronics look like. It's always been my theory that the animatronics, MatPat tried to disprove this theory, and it didn't click right. So I just had to get it out somewhere. So I figured my own channel would just do finally. It is. He says it's purely the chips, but I don't think that's what happened. You can see Funtime Freddy entering the house. You can see Circus Baby entering the house, and they say it's loosely based off fact. In the FNAF VR intro, you can hear, even though some of these stories are loosely based off fact, how would they ever know of the FNAF 4 house? Like, the information had to get out somewhere. I'm assuming the crying child told somebody about what's happening, or somebody eventually found the tapes, because this was long after Afton's death. I'm assuming that eventually stuff came to light and these tapes are found. So what eventually happened is that they found the true tapes. Not the ones with the nightmare animatronics, but the funtime animatronics showing themselves, like walking around the house. While in the mind of a child, they just see these this kind of blurry animatronic that looks completely nightmarish, but it wouldn't follow through a camera, especially back in the day where they didn't have cameras that carried audio, so it wouldn't follow over. That's why the Freddy Fazbear's company, or Fazbear and I don't know the name of it, but they saw it and it got out eventually, so they try to cover it up as like some sort of funny joke kind of movie thing. At least that's what I think a company would do. And then they try to write it off as this probably didn't happen. Maybe it's not true. But there's something that comes along with that. Something that could honestly be one of the most terrifying things that I think could come out of that. So you have the four sister. You got the four FNAF animatronics. And you have a cupcake and mini arenas. What do I mean by this? You have the FNAF sister animatronics. Sister location animatronics. You got Circus Baby. I don't know what exactly Circus Baby is supposed to be. Then you got Funtime Freddy. You got Funtime Foxy. You got Ballora. These are four animatronics that we already know. That could be Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy, because of the chips implanted in them. The chips can't take physical form. they could add on to said physical form, like you see in multiple other things as Circus Baby. They can take on other forms. I mean, they can add to other forms. Like, they can make it look so real, but once the device is destroyed, it disillusions them. So if you disillusion the Nightmare animatronics, I would 100% bet that they are going to be the Funtime animatronics. Then you got the Freddles. What about the Freddles? Well, that's simple. Who do we see have many versions of themselves that can tear them apart and put them back together? It's quite simple. That is Ballora's little mini arena things. So I think it's possible that Nightmare Freddy is Ballora. Because if my theory is correct in the Funtime animatronics or the Nightmare animatronics, then it's most likely that Freddy is Freddy is Ballora. Because we see the mini arenas take her apart. We see the Freddles put Freddy back together. It is perfectly logical to assume that if the mini arenas can take Ballora apart, that they can put Ballora back together. The Freddles can put Freddy together. They can put Freddy apart. Like you see in the character manual, not manual, like the extras menu, that the Freddles are not actually part of Freddy. They don't just morph into Freddy. They are a separate being that kind of like puts Freddy back together. Like the mini arenas took Ballora apart. Then, like I said, Circus Baby might be somebody else. And Freddy might be somebody else too. But if I had to guess, Funtime Freddy takes after Chica, Nightmare Chica. Because you see in FNAF VR that he throws his hand puppet at the kid. I mean, the VR player. That's what I meant to say. And who else throws their whatever they have at somebody? Well, that's going to be Nightmare Chica. There's so much similarities. So much. Like I said, it makes sense in my mind that it just works that way. But one thing that is still just wrapped around my mind is Fredbear. Nightmare Fredbear, which is a killer to this theory. At least you think it would be, but it's not. Nightmare Freddy is simply Yendo. And if you never played Sister Location or just got the basic grips of Sister Location, oh, you just got the Sister animatronics. But there's actually another. And it would be a Nightmare Fred Bear. which I would say Nightmare exists, but he doesn't. That's a simple fact. Nightmare doesn't exist. Nightmare Marionette, yes, it's definitely possible that Nightmare Marionette definitely exists. Because you just see it everywhere. Nightmare Marionette just has to exist. Because you see him in FNAF VR. I'm basing this FNAF 4 off FNAF VR. Why? Like I said, I think the information actually got leaked, and it showed these things. Like, actually showed. It's now, you guys might say, well, Overlook, why does Funtime Freddy's disguise go away at cameras while Nightmare Fredbear, his doesn't? Well, see, what I'm thinking is that we never truly saw Night Yendo's suit. Why have a golden? He has golden eyes, which you could say, oh, he's the Golden Freddy of the game. I know he has to be there for a better reason, just to be another Golden Freddy, and that's why I'm thinking that he's Nightmare, because he's the only one that kind of breaks the theory. If Yendo has a second suit, or an actual suit, I think it's going to be the Nightmare animatronic, Nightmare Fredbear. Now you might be like, what about Nightmare Marionette? You haven't answered that one. Well, Nightmare Marionette definitely throws some massive holes. But the thing about that is, I don't know how to. I can explain the reasons why the sister animatronics are in there. I can explain the Nightmare Fredbear animatronic. But the canonicity of Nightmare On is plausible at that. And it makes no sense why he would be in FNAF VR. What, the room's going to be ripped apart? Because that's what we see in FNAF VR. I think you know those drawings, right? The drawings of the original FNAF rooms. You see a bunch of kids' drawings. I'm assuming it's like a program or something, like a daycare type thing. Like if you see in Security Breach that FNAF has a daycare program. So I'm guessing, since the crying child's dad works at the FNAF locations and he wants to keep a close eye on his kid, I'm gonna say that his kid was actually part of this daycare place. He was registered to the FNAF daycare to look over him, and so his dad could keep a close eye on him. Next, I think I think kid actually saw Nightmare Not before. And I imagine he drew him. Like, I don't think the chips, the little sound chips that mess with your mind and change images, made those. I think he had a nightmare about the Nightmare Not and then drew it later in daycare. That is the only way I think that the FNAF company could have got them. We see before that the security breach, that they do keep some old things. Like they have the Chica feed, I think, a few other things. But they have all that stuff there. For the reason, I don't know. I haven't looked into security breach much. I'm just telling you what I know about what I know. Oh, just to remind you guys, and I'm going to tell you guys this now so you guys don't get mad at me later when I do part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, part 6, part 6, part 7, and onward. Um, there's not going to be another possessed animatronic. I'm telling you guys this now. That is over with. Possessed animatronics are gone. We're done with the days of child haunting animatronics. We see this in Security Breach. Why does Freddy help George? Well, he's implemented with a security program, but we see that he malfunctioned, either because he saw something. So we know in FNAF 2 that the FNAF 2 animatronics are not possessed. Mangle is, for some reason, but the toy animatronics aren't. But they still hunt you down. I'm assuming it's like they were supposed to look for that thing. And since Freddy had a glitch of some kind when he looked at that thing that the other animatronics must have not looked at, or they use parts from before, like with still remnant or a soul attached to them. But most likely we're going to be stuck with remnant animatronics for now. I don't think no more kids are going to be killed. I think it's just a remnant story now, because that's easier than creating another Afton murder plot. Gone with the days of a physical killer, and now with the days of a digital killer. Upgrading with time, Afton. Oh, where were we? Yeah, Nightmare on. So Nightmare on is plausible. He could be real. He cannot. He might not. But I think how they actually got the information is from a drawing. Then they added to it. I think that covers everything for FNAF 4. Oh, yeah. Then Michael gets chomped. And that is one of the last of the Afghan kids. And afterwards, I think Michael. I mean, oh crap. Was Michael the small brother's name or the big brother's? Oh, shoot. No, it was the big brother's. Never mind. We're going to just replace everything that I said with Michael Afton and just replace it with the crying child. So the crying child gets chomped. He's dead now. And I think Michael Afton ends up holding a grudge against his father. And he wants to figure out what truly happened to his brother, what truly happened to his sister. And that is when he applies for the ad for sister location. Yes, I said sister location happened before FNAF 4. What I meant is like the actual location, like the circus baby location, not the underground location. So he signs up for the job. He goes under and just to find what happened to his sister. We know on the third night, this is canon, that he doesn't follow the vent order, goes to Circus Baby's anyway. Circus Baby's room. Learns the truth later about his sister. And just by hearing her speak, that she actually killed a kid, that all this is really happening. He learns the dark truth of his father from going to his sister location. He finally gets scooped, and that's when he's taken over by Innard. He proceeds to march down the road. Just march on, doesn't matter. Till he eventually vomits up his sister. And I guess the other sister location souls into the sewer. But then he gets up. What I think happened, this might be a personal theory of mine, that the crying child, this might sound like a weird conclusion, and it might definitely be, never truly was alive. At least he was for a bit. And you might be like, what the hell do you mean by that? Well, what I mean is, if you ever read the FNAF books, there's this character, Charlie. She has multiple ages of herself. What I think happened is that Michael died somewhere along his childhood. Not at the place where we originally think he got possessed. And he didn't want to lose his kid. So he ended up making a ton of different ages of his kid, like you see with Charlie. And what I think happened is the crying child I was gonna say 10. The 10-year-old version of Michael encountered his, let's just say, 13 year old of Michael. In the 13-year-old version of Michael, put Michael in the bear head and it crunched down. And I think he gave both of them different names, but they both had the same childhood. They both died young. Just one took the body of the 13-year-old child robot, and one took the body of a 10-year-old child robot. And filled with grief, he figures out the fact that he can't die, that his whole childhood was a lie, that he was never truly alive. And in pure rage, he starts heading out for his father, planning to kill his own father. But how? Because at this point, we're entering, I think we finally enter FNAF 2. And by this point, when we enter FNAF 2, Purple Guy is already dead. I'm going to say that upright. He is dead in the FNAF 2. In FNAF 2, he's already dead. And I think he actually died at that location. So he killed kids there. The old suit started to reek. And Michael, trying to figure out more about what happened, applies for a job at this new and improved Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, just to find more of the mess that his father left behind. He finds the 5 dead children. He learns from the phone that a murderer came in and killed these kids. And Michael already knew who did it. He attempts to find his father, but by now his father is already locked behind the wall. And I think at this point, Michael is not 15 anymore. Now you might be like, I thought you said he was a 13-year-old animatronic. Well, I accidentally said 15, yes. But I meant he grew up. You see that Charlie still kind of grows up. He kind of like reboots into, she kind of reboots into a new animatronic form. Like when it hits her 20th birthday, she started looking different. I think that's because induced with Remnant, we have seen some of the weirdest stuff. What I think is that it has the soul and the Remnant. I think somehow, after learning Michael died young, he tried to master this soul containing, so he can actually contain the soul of his dead child, which he soon succeeds at. And then he makes multiple bodies. of his dead child. But for some reason, he wants two Michaels now. So he placed one younger and then had an older one. Both only remembering the bare aspects of their childhood. Oh, he's my father. That happened. Wow, you did the same thing with him? I'm surprised. And later, Michael takes the form of, say, 20-year-old form of himself, but he's still the older brother. That is what he knows. That he is the older Michael. And Michael 2.0, let's just say, is gone. It's because the soul container that originally probably like the soul was split in half. Let's per se that the soul was split in half. One goes there, another goes there. Could he do that? Maybe. Hasn't been done before, but probably. So Michael died, then Michael died, but he really didn't die. I think after Sister Location, Michael felt more alive per se. And I'm gonna say this right now. Don't be mad at me, guys. The purple guy isn't the killer. You see this? I'm gonna search a purple guy. It's gonna come up with this. Purple guy. Let's see. Do they have killer art? Yep. Look at all that. Psychopath, right? 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 No. I'm going to completely dismay what your brain's thinking right now. Well, Overlook, if the purple guy isn't the killer, then why did we see him with a bunch of dead children? What I think that is Michael Afton reminding the robots what happened. He was reminding the children what his father did to them. But Michael, looking like his father, so Michael reminded the children the purple guy is not the killer. I know that's completely opposite of what you were taught. Purple guy killer, yes. But why would the guy be purple? Michael survived Sister Location. He is purple. He wants vengeance for what his father did. So he gets the children. And the children, he reminds the children of what his father did. I don't think with Michael's specific knowing. Have you heard of the second soul that possesses the Golden Freddy body, right? Yeah, you guys probably heard this because you're clicking on a FNAF Theory episode. And you're probably like, what does this say? You have to say. So you probably know the second soul of the body, of Golden Freddy's body. I think Michael reminded the souls that the purple guy was still out there, that he was still angry. Michael, looking a lot like his father, was mistaken to be his father and put in the suit. Why do I think this is the case? Because of what happened. Just a simple aspect of what happened in the FNAF 3 cutscene where the purple guy dies. We see him. The souls enter the room. Michael's confused. He's confused why all of a sudden the souls are turning against him. And they trap him in the room, thinking that once again Michael is just the guy that murdered them. Though he's just the guy that reminded them of what happened to them. Michael gets put in the spring lock suit. Noticing their mistake too late, Michael dies. Which is terrible. That Michael had such a cruel fate as to die by trying to help kids catch a killer. FNAF 1, I'm not going to mention FNAF 1. You're like, oh, but that's the one that says all the killing. I'm not going to count it. I'm not going to address it, and I'm not going to count it. Because it gives the base information, and you can't believe what the phone guy's saying. Why can't you believe what the phone guy's saying? Well, I'll tell you the story of the game creator. The game creator didn't plan to have multiple sequels after. Some of the things that the phone guy said are not true half of the time. Simply because the franchise grew, he didn't want the same, oh, 5 children were murdered, and this is the facts. No, he wanted to change those facts, but he didn't want to go back, make a remake. So he stuck with the original FNAF 1. So back to what I was saying about FNAF 1. I mean, not about FNAF 1, but now FNAF 3. I think that's next in our timeline. We skip FNAF, we passed FNAF 2, we got to FNAF 3. Yeah, FNAF 3 is the last one I'm gonna talk about today. I'm not gonna go into FNAF VR, and I'm not gonna go into other games like FNAF Pizzeria. Maybe I'll go into FNAF Pizzeria. Oh. So at the... Oh, hold on. Back to FNAF 2 for a second. Okay, with the grand opening of FNAF 2, William Afton was mad at the person that he despised most, that he grew the most hatred for. And that is Henry. How this hate grew, I think, was he felt like he was the only one getting punished. Why was his children the only ones hurt by these animatronics that they both created? Why does his robots bring better feeling than his robots? It's just anger built up over time, I think. Anger that his life didn't go the way that he wanted it to, that his children died. So, at a terrible night, after being at Junior's, the bar, he gets pissed off. He heads to the location and kills Henry's daughter. Henry created a special security bot called the Puppet that shortly after broke out of its box after being trapped in there by kids, head out to see the pure tragedy. And you can see in the minigames that in the minigames before the puppet was possessed by the soul, that it didn't have tears streaming down its face. The puppet headed out, saw the murdered child with the green wristband, because if you play the minigame, you know that it has a green wristband. Lie down next to it, the child, and try to comfort the child in its dying moments. You might be like, isn't she already dead? What? Did he slice her throat? No, she would be bleeding all over. I think he stabbed her in the stomach or something. What's the puppet gonna do? Carry it? Have you seen the puppet's arms? Later, the corpse of the girl is found. No one knows who did it, and the case is eventually dropped. William Afton finally got his revenge, and he got off scot-free at the end, I guess. But if only that was the case. Ooh yeah, we're going back to FNAF 3 talking. After being locked in the room of the place that he wanted to trap his father in, Michael wakes up. He's angry. He's bloodthirsty. He wants revenge, and he wants it now for his younger brother and his younger sister. And what is a big brother going to do? He is found, and he is in FNAF 3. The reason why I think it's Michael too, and not William Afton in the suit, is also that William Afton wouldn't be dumb enough. William Afton, I don't want you guys to mistake this, is a brilliant genius. He is maniacal, but he is smart. He wouldn't put on a suit that he knew would puncture him, that would kill him, that would put an end to his life. The only one who would do that is an untrained man, such as Michael. So when Michael finally wakes up, he's at the FNAF 3 location. Finally, he could get his revenge. And he could get the guy that caused all this. his father, William, being, I would say, in his 50s by FNAF 3, decides to see this horror attraction. Why? Why would a man in his 50s with no kids left go into this? Well, to see. See, there's one thing that I think you in this fan community hadn't realized, that he's a murderer. He wants to cover up his tracks. He never wants to be found. When they're announcing the horror attraction and they're going to push light on the fact that William Afton is the murderer, William's at an outrage. He signs up for the job to get the job done, to put an end and have a peaceful life, without remembering the terrible things that he has done to his family, himself, and the others that cared for him. He heads to FNAF 3. FNAF Frights. He signs up for the job, originally looking around at the cameras to see if there was any evidence left. But he couldn't just drop the job. If any of you guys had a job, you had to complete a week at least to get your payment. So he decided to finish the job to make it not look suspicious. Oh, stuff's gone? Oh, the new guy just quit? He is smart enough to know that he has to finish the job week. At least at then, he can burn the stuff and say that he never took it and delete the footage for the night. Then he can go on, even if they're like, he stole the stuff. Where's the evidence? Well, he's the only one that had access to them. But there's a day guard, right? Yeah. So couldn't he delete them too? The evidence simply wouldn't stick, and William Afton knows this. But then he gets a better idea. All the evidence in one place? Why wouldn't I burn it down? After then he hears that Michael, the kid he had, that his only kid left, that probably got mad at him and left. That's probably. Maybe he stuck through with William through childhood. But after finding out what his father did and never getting the chance for payback, Michael was bloodthirsty. That is why we see Springtrap so aggressive in FNAF 3. It's not because of William's bloodlust. It's because a grieving big brother wanted revenge for what happened to his siblings by the man that killed them, his own father. But he doesn't succeed. William does proceed to start burning the building down. But that simply wouldn't be enough. Michael's soul was not at rest. He wanted true revenge. So what did he do? He had another spring lock suit. Now you guys are like, no way he had another spring lock suit. Wouldn't it make much more sense? Let me show you this. You got Springtrap. Let me show you guys a picture of Springtrap. Brilliant creature, ain't he? Pretty cool, right? Now, let me show you guys Scraptrap here. Does that look any similar to the image that I just showed you? Let me show you guys again, just so if you guys didn't get it the first time. This to this. This turns into this. No, it simply couldn't be. Well, I think what really happened here is that this spring bodysuit that you see, this was created by William Afton. This right here, created by Henry. If you go watch the game theory episode, where I'll just summarize what he said. Henry has a certain design that he uses for animatronics. It's basic, but it's effective. This, you can see right here, the jaw is not connected. It is not. It is a Rockstar model. You can see no connection like this one. This one is created by William Afton. It's more high tech. It is way better. But it doesn't appeal to children. This one was created by Henry, like I was saying. What I think is that they had two spring bodysuits. The old one and the new one. The new one was created for the murders. Well, this one was made for show. Now, just to get you guys a better grasp about this, because I know I need to back this up with more evidence than just, look, not similar. Well, let me go into that. So Michael, filled with rage, he finds another old Springlock suit. He grabs it and forces his father inside the suit. See when he takes off the mask? Right there. Bang. He has no teeth. He's been rotting for a long time. Now, let me show you this. Hold on, just reset the thing. Does that look like it's been rotting for a long time? No, it looks like an old, saggy old man head. It looks like an old man. Like I said, William Afton would have been in his 50s. And this Springlock costume, what does it look like? An old man head. This one? No, this is purple. These two people aren't similar. This right here is Michael. This right here is his 50-year-old father. Michael was put in the suit in his. So he was 20 when he worked at the Freddy Fazbear's second restaurant. Hold on. Did I say that William was dead during the second one? No, I meant that he was still killing. But when you get to the second game, like the actual second game, he's already dead. At least Michael is already dead. So this is Michael. This is his father. During Michael's last moments, he actually dies in the fire. If you guys weren't wondering, Springtrap did die in the fire. But you know who survived? His father. The one he put in the Henry suit. But who ended the game? Oh, gee. If no one's left for the FNAF 6, then what are we gonna do? Who is the mysterious person that bought the restaurant? Or the restaurant franchisee? Yeah. Well, 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 my dear innocent viewer. Well, that's a simple answer. See, who I think the person that comes to quote unquote save the day is, no drum roll please, a random person. What? That's not interesting. What? That it was a random person? The random person that bought the franchisee? It was already clear that. What? Did you expect it to be somebody simple? Oh, it was Michael that bought the restaurant. No, Michael, if he was still kicking, which he wasn't in my theory, he died in the fire. He did not come back like you guys thought. No, that was the William that came back. And I'm sorry to say this, guys, but it's a random person. No one special. Why did he said, well, there was supposed to be a way out for you, but I think you actually want to stay here. If you guys aren't satisfied with it's just a random person, if I had to throw one random guess in there, I'm going to say, a Michael robot. I already said there's a multiple. So yeah, it could be just another Michael robot. It could be anybody. It could be literally anybody that joins a thing. They want to see it out to the end. They want to finish. They unleash these things. They know the full story. Even if it's a random bystander, they know what happened. And if there's a way out, the robots are gonna get the way out too. I think the random bystander saw this truth. After playing the mini games, he figured out what truly went down. Even if he's a random person, I believe that the random person is a kind-hearted person. So, Henry saw the same truth anyways. There was supposed to be a way out for you, but it's too late. The person wanted to finish it too. How did Scrap Trap get into the digital world? Well, that could be for a ton of different reasons. And William Afton's soul actually dies. Yeah, no more. The guy that you're hearing, or the new William Afton, the new robot Afton, the glitch trap, is not William Afton. Glitch trap, I think, he's the real William Afton, but no, not even close. He is pure remnant of anger that William had to go through. The pure, just murderous anger fills anything that he touches. It will continue to go on. And I think that kind of explains the reason why the Blob took William Afton at the ending scenes. Not because William Afton was bad. Because if you heard the game theory thing, basically the Blob is trying to get every... How is my computer not charging? Oh darn, oh diddly darn. Did I never plug it in? I never plugged it in. So like I was saying, if William Afton was pure remnant, the Blob wanted him. And here's a quick theory for you guys for what's upcoming in the new FNAF security breach thing. You guys probably want to know this, but I think William's anger is enough to overtake the mind of the Blob. That, like in the book where he creates a giant trash robot, he's about to do the same thing. And who's gonna set out to kill him? Well, I think I already explained that to you guys multiple times. If you guys take the earwax out of your ears and open your ears as wide as they can go, the Michael robots. It's a Michael robot that killed him. So take it like what's a good rivalry? Whenever there is a William in the timeline, there's going to be a Michael in the timeline to defeat his father, to put an end to his father. Whenever there will be a William, there will be a Michael to stop him. And I think that's what is happening in FNAF Security Breach. Oh, a random Michael robot stumbled upon the pizzeria. Oh, to stop his father. Like I said, that just happened with Springtrap. A Michael robot saw how cruel his father was and killed him. Well, guys, that's it for now. If you guys want to hear more theories of mine, then like, subscribe, and comment if you guys want to hear more theories. Honestly, the reason why I had my head scrambled this whole entire time is because I'm going purely off my mind. And it's like 11. If you guys look at the clock. So, that's it for now, guys. Like I said, like, subscribe, comment. I would love to hear your guys' theories about this whole franchise.